it's your girl Jade Feinics. I am still live at Tropic Con in Long Island in Hauppauge, right? That's how you say it, Hauppauge, right? Hauppauge. Yeah. I mean, I'm not from Long Island. I can't talk like in Long Island.
At least we're not at Yet Pink.
It's fine. We're fine. It's cool. It's cool. And I am once again joined by one of the most fantastic people in the world. Introduce yourself, sir.
How's it going? I'm Dan Hort. I'm
Hello.
The CEO and executive producer of the Cosplay Runway.
Yes.
We'll be down at the Marriott Marquis on September 10th at 4 p.m. with our special blend of cosplay couture.
Yes.
I love that.
I mean, you are quite, I would say, intimate with cosplay couture, Choco.
Somewhat. I like to dabble in it when I have energy.
Unfortunately, your girls are running on spite and caffeine today. Spite and caffeine today.
It's a powerful motivator.
It's a very powerful motivator, but I am so glad that you decided to sit down with us and have a conversation. Like, it is a great honor to have you here. No, it is. It is, because honestly, I've heard nothing but good things about Cosplay Runway. I mean, and I've seen pictures of it online. I myself have never personally gotten to go. So I'm just like, tell me more.
Well, the first thing, which is really true, and you see it in all the pictures, is we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I have to say that that's been the most exciting part of all of this, is we're just having a lot of fun. The shows have been really fun. You know, cosplay community is great.
Yes.
Everybody likes to have a good time. It's been friendly and pretty decent, and we've gotten a lot of interest from real fashion people, and we have a lot of comic book people. We're getting a really interesting intersection of high-end people that are interested in what we're doing down there. So that's terrific. I mean, we've got a tremendous lineup actually coming down the pipe here. We've got Bill Sienkiewicz, who's comic book royalty, doing a lot of background art, and is hopefully going to be revealing a couple of interesting portraits.
That's awesome.
Including the Michelle Nichols tribute. We've got 20 Uhura.
Yeah. She was such a joy. Like, every time I ever saw her at a convention, she was just a pure, like, pleasure to be around. Like, you ever just be around somebody that's just absolutely, like, just, the energy is just so good.
She was a real pioneer in the way that we now have Comic Cons, that especially it's something like this, like a Tropic Con.
This is true.
Where it isn't a first world Comic Con.
Yeah.
You really start to see how important Michelle specifically, and of course the entire cast and crew of that original enterprise, because they were doing cons in the 80s. They
This is
were
true.
on card tables in hotel ballrooms in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, that this is a real thing, and that they went on to become what they are is tremendous. And I do believe, as wonderful and as unbelievably iconic as she is, I actually think that Uhura will now move into the next level of iconistic stuff, that she's already the #1 African-American sci-fi character, I would think, and probably makes an argument to be the #1 woman sci-fi character.
I have to agree with you there.
I would agree with that.
I do think that over time now, it will emerge.
Yeah.
Suddenly she will, in fact, and that's the incredible thing about all this fandom stuff.
It's true.
Is that the world jockeys, that it's not over.
Yeah.
That this is going to be now, as I say, I think she's going to be catapulted. And incidentally, maybe already existed there. That certainly, as I say, for black sci-fi and blurs, you know, she's got to be right up there, if not the. And, you know, with women, was Leia, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. And if you're the #1 woman and you're the #1 person of color, then you're one of the top 3 sci-fi characters.
It's true. I mean, between her and Eartha Kitt in the 60s.
Right, the Catwoman.
Like, they were the pioneers there. I mean, and Lieutenant Uhura also, like, made insane contributions to science and math, and she
all
was
of it.
just,
I mean, they talk about the business with Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Speaking to all these women that were influenced to her to go work for NASA that she recruited. There's no question that these are, and to me, and again, I love to do this kind of ranking. You know, is that it's a pretty heavy argument to be made.
It's true.
And as I say, once you're that high up on certain lists, it means you're on very, very rare air with, you know, the all-time list.
Yeah, and conventions are what gets you there, honestly.
Yeah.
And they were no joke. as I say, we're actually having Bill Sienkiewicz is coming down to do the artwork for us, and we're hoping we're going to have the Nichelle Nichols painting and all that. So it's really exciting. But he told this fantastic story, and he also is a old school pioneer in the Comic Cons when there wasn't a million people and it wasn't a huge sponsorships and whatever, and they were just at card tables and hotel ballrooms like the one we're in right now.
Yeah, and I love that because most people think they're like, oh yeah, no, there was always like Comic Cons. It's like, yeah, but we wouldn't have them if it wasn't for the pioneers who kept at it and kept going when there wasn't that much of a fan base for it at the time. Like, I mean, the conventions, had people coming, but it wasn't like it is today, but they kept doing it anyway.
And those Trek cons are very, very early adopters.
Yeah.
There were Trek cons going on, when the show was on and ever since.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to say, so Bill Sienkiewicz actually tells a very interesting story about him and Nichelle Nichols in a hotel lobby.
Yeah.
In, I believe it was the 80s. So you could follow him on Instagram.
Oh, definitely.
He's the real Polish guy. And it's a really fascinating story about, about how interesting and what an unbelievably light persona she was.
Yeah.
And, again, I don't think you can say enough. I'm pretty big on this type of stuff, and I don't think there's any question that, we've lost a major pioneer in terms of the industry of Comic-Con. And it's been a tough year overall. We lost Neil Adams and George Perez also. Were huge in their own
we lost
way.
a lot.
Fixtures in the Comic-Con circuit, and what we now see is as the industry of Comic-Con, that these guys were all just as important as could be.
It's true.
And, so we lost all three of them, and we'll be honoring them at the Cosplay Runway.
Yes. I mean, honestly, to steer it back to the Cosplay Runway, you have no idea how many times I'll go to a convention. Well, you might, Choco.
Yeah.
But you like to see how some cosplayers take, like, say, a Star Trek uniform. Just say even just like a gold shirt and black pants. Traditional Star Trek uniform, right? But then they'll do these fantastic things to them.
Like the Met Gala versions.
Oh my God, they're amazing. And some of these cosplayers chef's kiss. Chef's kiss with their creativity.
Well, they're real artists. That's the bottom line. Is that the game has been upped in that area too. That you see a ton of people. There was remember that film that was on YouTube, the Batman Predator, was sort of the original breakthrough. These guys were major special effects guys in Hollywood.
Yep.
They were not amateurs at all. And so you do see tremendous craftsmanship in costuming of all kinds. They're waving at us here. So popular.
Oh, that's our buddy Pete.
But the craftsmanship is for real. And, the artistry, and there's a lot of attention on it right now.
I mean, you're getting major designers that are actually looking.
Yeah.
And the Met Gala that you said before, that's actually been that's a buzzword. I say that when I'm selling to people. I go, Met Gala. And they're like, oh, yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, what is the Met Gala anything more than a cosplay convention?
Yeah, they have a theme, and then they have to match the theme, or they just wear whatever they want. Some people don't really follow the theme.
Or they steal iconic dresses. No, I'm not going there. And stretch them out.
I'm still mad about that.
Here it is. We've got, who's this? Is Steve Azuzu here? Is that who that is? No, that's not Steve Azuzu. Who are you? Say again?
Your cosplay. Who are you cosplaying as?
Kazuichi Soda from Danganronpa.
Nice.
Let's see. What about your friends?
All Danganronpas?
No, we have Misa from Death Note.
From, that's,
and Toilet Bound Hanoko?
Yes. There we go. There we go.
Good work.
There we go.
What's she holding? Is it like a genie bottle?
It's just like a spirit.
It's a spirit orb.
Is it?
It's a spirit orb.
I thought it was one of those African gourd things.
No. So you said that the next Cosplay Runway is in December?
September 10th.
September 10th. There we go. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that everybody can hear it because it is very loud because Tropicon is jumping right now. We are having so much fun.
Right. So September 10th, Saturday at 4 p.m. at the Marriott Marquis. Let's see, who else we got on lineup? We got a ton of cosplayers. Nichelle Nichols tribute. We've got the New York Avengers are going to be there.
Oh, nice. We know them.
Capes for Cause.
The Paladins of Cosplay?
I don't think so. Not this time through. And who else we got? It's funny, I'm blanking. We've got Fire X Wear, Cutie Pie Sensei's new bathing suit line. Should be pretty good. Yeah. Oh, and Cosplay Universe.
Yes, we know Cosplay Universe.
Yeah, they'll be coming out.
Very
and we're hoping
cool.
to schedule out with them some film screenings.
Very
talking
cool.
to some people worldwide about screenings and fashion shows.
Yeah.
And then my partner Catherine's husband was a very well-known Marvel executive, Mark Gruenwald, and he was just inducted into the Comic Book Hall of Fame, I guess now about a month ago at San Diego at the Will Eisner Hall of Fame. So that was pretty exciting. And so we'll be paneling at New York Comic Con as well.
We'll be there.
Nice.
Totally.
We'll be there all 4
out.
days.
We're doing, currently we're slated to do a Marvel bullpen. We've got all of the big name. We'll have Bill.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be a big...
A bunch of from the 80s and the 90s, as many of them as we could get, and I've already got like 6 or 7.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it should be a lot of fun. And, it's exciting for those guys, too, to be able to sort of reminisce. And a lot of these guys, they've been emailing and Facebooking, but it's been a long time with COVID. It's been longer, since they've all kind of gotten together. So we're excited about bringing them all together and starting.
I'm excited about seeing them all in one place.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
Like, I can tell you right now, my husband's going to shit a brick because he has so many.
Going to go to that panel.
So many of those comics.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like that was when we started collecting.
Right.
So for him, he's going to be sitting there going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and he's probably going to go to that panel.
Yeah.
Depending on where we are in our days, where what will happen.
Yeah.
Because responsibilities.
New York Comic Con is tough.
Yeah.
You can't really see everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But, a lot of those comics are what the TV shows are now based on.
Yes.
So there's a lot of interest in this generation.
It's true.
The 80s and 90s storyline.
Yeah.
So that seems to be the thing. And they're, again, these are all really interesting people.
Yeah.
So there's more stories than there is time.
Yeah.
Well, on the Feinics Gate, we will learn how to make time.
Yes.
That's what we do. We always make time. If not, we try to make it stand still. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does.
But you have to have time in order to make time.
But see, that's the fun thing.
The
Most people don't realize where our name actually came from.
Yes, I don't have any idea where your name actually came
So, because I didn't want to plagiarize the big evil mouse, I can't use the traditional spelling of Feinics. I can't, because if you watched the show Gargoyles back in the day, how did they time travel? They used the Feinics Gate. So I used the traditional Irish spelling of the word Phoenix, and that's how you get our name. Because we travel backwards, forwards, and hopefully someday future.
Right. I like it if it's the Gaelic.
It is.
I like that. I will say, though, I don't know what kind of show we have here. It's a little close to fecal.
Yeah.
And so when
I've gotten that before.
Saw it, I actually did, and it does.
I've gotten that before.
But,
it's fine. You know why? Because whenever anybody makes that mistake, I say it's fine. I talk a lot of shit.
Right.
It's fine. We talk a lot of shit on this podcast. We do.
Right. I like it.
There's no holds barred on this podcast. We are not safe for work.
Not at all.
Nope.
I never listened to it at work, sadly.
No. I made that mistake once. One time. Nope. Didn't go well. Did not go well for me. But
I thought you were concerned about the Feinics was the X-Men.
no, that's my other waifu.
Because they also are owned by the mouse.
Now.
Yeah.
They weren't when I created this show. So,
right.
yeah. But it is one of those things that I was worried about. So, I did it my way.
Right.
Gotta do it. I'm from New York. I did it my way.
I know. I was gonna start singing, then I was like, nah.
Well, I mean, yes. So, and unlike September, are you doing any others in the tri-state area, or is it just September?
Well, we'll be back in New York Fashion Week in February.
Right.
For sure. And after that, it's a little sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
We usually do things down in Miami during our Basel.
Right.
So that'll be in December, but it's not slated yet. And then we have an art fair, the CAFA, in Barbados in March.
Wow.
We do a lot of geek stuff there. Anime Con, which is the preeminent con in the Caribbean, is in Barbados a week from today.
Oh, wow.
So if you're down there in Bridgetown, you want to go check that out for sure.
Get your passports and go.
100%. We have activities there. We're going to do some photo shooting, and we're going to be down
I mean,
there.
Man, I
the
can't
setting
even
down
imagine,
there,
right?
the setting down there has got to be so beautiful for some of these cosplay shoots.
I would make a
I
Kingdom
would
Hearts
die.
thing for sure.
Yeah.
Well, they're just
The
coming out of
beach.
COVID, so this is a past year. But
Yeah.
next year, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a really great show. Omar and Mel do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Keeping everybody in there, and it's as you say, it's a preeminent show in the Caribbean by a mile. And it's home field for us.
I love that.
We're hoping we've got we're doing that event. I personally not going to be there, but I have people down there. And then again, we're talking about doing a variety of runways over the next, maybe around Halloween.
Oh my God, a Halloween
runway.
Caribbean cosplay is for real. The geek community down in the Caribbean is as real as it gets.
Yeah.
All the islands have it, and it's they're super fans, and
I love that.
They're very
I love that
informed,
too.
And they're fun. It's a lot less commercial in some ways.
Yeah.
And so there's much more of that kind of camaraderie feel that is still exists.
It's probably a lot less competition. Like
I don't know. The
here,
competition's pretty fierce. On
the competition, yeah, but I mean, like personally, sometimes
No,
in the
it's
cosplay
not
community,
mean.
Yeah.
they can get a little sketch.
Yes, for sure.
Can get a little
I think
sketch.
it's a real problem, by the way. I think it's fair to say. I think, listen, in the U.S. and maybe worldwide, everybody's on edge.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I give a lot of people space now with bad behavior. And I get it, the bad behavior's on the massive rise.
Yeah.
But I do think that ultimately it's not acceptable. And
Emotional
right,
damage.
exactly. I love
Yep.
emotional damage.
It's true.
But they're very supportive. And what's great, when they do the cosplay contest, every con has them.
Yeah.
They cheer for the kid that's, with a crummy mask, the worst costume ever.
Oh, we
and
love
they cheer for the
that.
best costume ever. They just, they just go nuts for it.
Because
And
honestly,
it's great.
I've been cosplaying for 21 years. 21 years I've been cosplaying. And I mean, you can kind of count it longer because my mother used to make my Halloween costumes for me growing up.
Right.
And it would always be something that original. Like, I mean, I was a purple Crayola crayon. I was a present, and she would always help me make these cosplays from when I was a little kid. So it just continued to grow for me. And then when I was 16, I did my first anime character. So it just got worse from there. But
It went downhill.
it went downhill from there. But when I tell you that this was like possibly on today's cosplay standards, I took 2 Christmas bows and stapled them to a white leotard and wore a blue tennis skirt and said I was Sailor Moon.
Right.
I had no wig. I had no boots. I had no gloves. I did not have the nothing. It was literally held together with staples. And you would think that to me, it was the greatest thing I've ever done. And if I had ever taken that to a cosplay, contest here, I think I would have gotten cheers back then. Now, because I'm older, probably not. If I was a kid and I did that, yeah.
Yeah.
There's place for everybody.
It is.
That's the bottom line. And,
I had a guest earlier. He's 67 years old and he still cosplays. My mother is in her 60s and she still cosplays.
but it's the effort. It's one of the things that I think it's lost, in corporate society and,
Yep.
and a variety of sort of winner mentality types of things that we exist in at the moment, is that it's about everybody doing it. It doesn't matter, the kids in the Halloween costumes,
Yeah.
that's really
No.
what you're looking for. And listen, I love it. We try to, at Cosplay Runway, we try to get all of it in there.
Yeah.
And by the way, we particularly like the extremes. I like to have the really, really great stuff.
Yeah.
And, have the amateurs or have the kids that want to be involved. We do a lot of that kind of stuff. But I definitely think that I may see it on Instagram and Facebook. We don't get involved in it that much. We're really show purveyors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just know that there's so much feuding amongst all the
Yeah.
cosplay groups, and it just seems so petty now. It just seems really petty. And by the way, it's a problem. You really can't do it. it takes a village. With all
It
this kind
does.
of
It
stuff.
does. Choco and I are very big on cosplay is for everyone. Cause positivity for your body positivity, because I don't care if you are 400 pounds or 4 pounds. If you want to wear the shit, wear the shit. Okay. 2, we're also about safety.
Yep.
We are very big on safety in the cosplay community because we're older and we want to leave the younger generation a safe place.
Oh, for sure. I'm
You
a
know?
dad.
Yeah.
And that's, and in fact, one of the things that's nice is because I've had the opportunity to do the things I do, I've been lucky to deal with a lot of really interesting and special people.
Yeah.
And I give a shout out to the dads in all of this, because frequently they're kind of walking the perimeter and paying attention, and especially when you get into fashion events and things like this, you really need them, because you got to make sure everybody's safe, and I think obviously there's a lot of predatory activity everywhere you go. It's no longer doesn't matter.
No.
It happens everywhere. But I do think that there's a healthy dose of parenting and, as I say, adults certainly in the the intermediate to pro level. Cosplay.
Oh yeah. How many times do they call me a con mom?
Yeah,
I am
you
the
get
mom.
called con mom
I am
all the
con
time.
mom.
If you see something, you have to say something.
Yeah.
That you gotta be strong about it.
See,
No.
I'm like the silent con mom. Like, people forget I will con mom if they need it.
Yeah.
Like, but everyone's like, oh, let's go to Jade.
Jade's there. No, it's like I'm the one that immediately I'm like, did you eat today? Did you drink water? Are you in pain? Do you need some Advil? Like, what do you need? Are you okay? Are you safe? Who touched you? I'll kill you. Like, just like literally, it's bad. It's bad.
But it's good, because that's what it takes.
It is. At least I know, and my friends have backed me up on this. My con family has backed me up on this. Choco can back me up on this. The local community knows that if Jade's at a convention, you're going to be safe. Because
that's important.
I've literally chased people out of conventions trying to cause them bodily harm because they did something stupid and touched a minor or touched another cosplayer in an inappropriate way, or ruined a cosplay because they were feeling petty.
Yeah.
You've seen me do it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, I think
Don't
we're
mess with
lucky.
cosplayers.
The Comic-Con community overall, I think, is reasonably organized and together, and it's good people, And I like to think that that's true in all communities. That there's,
It's true.
That you have that, and we've been really, really blessed to be involved at that level here now.
Yeah.
It's just been a real pleasure. It's been a whirlwind, really. We started out during COVID. We did our first runway in 2020
Wow.
down in Orlando. So it was in like December. So it
Yeah.
was literally the height of COVID. And it's funny because if I knew what I'd known now, I'd have flown.
Yeah.
There would have been nobody on the plane. It had cost $5.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have gotten COVID,
Yeah.
right?
No.
But I didn't know because we were like in the height of it.
Yeah.
So I drove all the way from New York City down to Orlando. And my partner Catherine was down there because the fashion industry didn't really stop. They actually have all the things that were out there. I do a lot of disparate. I do comic books. I do art.
Right.
I do a lot of events. But the fashion industry didn't really stop. So where did they go? They went to places where they didn't have restrictions.
Yeah.
Florida and to Crackerville. So I drove down.
Thanks to Santis.
Right, exactly right. So I drove down, which was, perfectly fine and whatever, but, I had to stop at some hotel. They had everything, wrapped in saran wrap. Everybody was so nervous.
Yeah.
We got down to the hotel. You want to?
No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
So we got down to the hotel, and, it was basically us. And we did a runway down there and did some video filming and got our collateral together. And immediately everybody involved in the show was all over it.
I love it.
Suddenly started to have models. So we then did it again during Orlando Swim Week about 6 months later.
Okay.
Which would have been July of 21?
Probably.
And so they it was a great show. We had the bombshells
Ooh.
down there. They were terrific. Yep. And a bunch of really good, fun people. John Ashford, who's a shoe designer, did some stuff for us.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we did that show, and towards the end, we always have, whatever.
Right.
But so we were lining up our, have them all walk through again, and the woman who runs the bigger show that we were involved with says to me, she's like, Dan, who the fuck are all these people? Right? And so I look up, and there were like probably 20 or so cosplayers, models that I had no idea who they were. So I was like, I don't know, they're wearing costumes. Put them out there. Right, so we did. So we walked them out. And what had turned out is that all these other models from all these other shows had heard that we were doing what we were doing.
Oh.
And so they came down in costumes, and some of them were more or less terrific.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
And that's been like a hallmark. We did Rhode Island Fashion Week, and
Wow.
the same thing. Like we had like 30, 40 models that
Disappeared.
just appeared out of nowhere.
It's magic.
The shows that we've done, down in New York.
Oh, it's
Right.
magic.
And they're super into it, you know.
Yeah.
And as you say, in a wide degree,
Yeah.
But it's good, and for them, they get an opportunity to get photos made in a different kind of outfit. Costuming's become, it's a growing thing.
Yeah.
And so you're beginning to start to see it in some of the pageant circuit stuff where they're wearing costumes or doing more elaborate designs
Yeah.
and things like this. So it's been a really interesting kind of, as I say, a real whirlwind. And then, Mark Gruenwald, who's, again, my partner Catherine's husband, was inducted into the Comic Book Hall of Fame, so we had to go out there.
That's awesome.
And we've got a bunch of collateral things going on with that.
Wow.
And a lot of stuff interesting with Marvel Comics and the people from that generation. And, yeah, it's just been a really good time right now. And it's fun because nothing's really picked up steam yet.
Yeah.
Everybody's still, like, even this, you can see, this is the first time. The last Tropicon I went to was in a parking lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah,
last year.
yeah.
So
Right.
this is only the third year that Tropicon has been in existence.
Right.
Yeah.
This is also the first time that we are here at the Hyatt.
Yes.
We
I
were in a
believe-
different hotel.
I think last year, because of COVID, still
We were
was
in-
why it was outside.
It
I
was
love
yeah.
that, by the way. I thought that was awesome. I totally.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And then the year before that, we were at a different hotel.
yeah, I
and
think that one was in Nassau County, right?
Nassau
yeah,
County.
okay.
This one, that one was in Nassau County. But the way they had the setup was a little bit wonky. So, but it was a first time con. But and the Phoenix Gate was there.
Yep.
The Phoenix Gate, yeah, we were
So
there.
you've been to all three.
Yes. But this is our first time having a table here.
So you were there, but you didn't.
No, we
Well,
were there, and we ended up being the Wranglers. It was me and my former partner. We ended up being the cosplay Wranglers because nobody knew where the cosplayers were.
Right.
So they basically what me and my ex-partner did. We went to Target, got a buttload of poster board and glitter
Yep.
Right.
and glue. And we just literally went this way to cosplayers and covered it in glitter in the parking lot. And we're literally standing in the middle of the lobby of the hotel going this way to cosplayers and bringing everybody over there because there was also vendors in there that were not getting any attention because nobody knew they were there.
Yeah, it was in like some separate area completely. It
Completely
was
in a separate, it was,
that you would never think to go down that way, that it was part of the convention.
So we fixed it.
Yeah.
That's what the Phoenix Gate did. And then last year we were just hanging out, having fun with our friends at Fat Guy Inc. and our cosplaying friend Rizuki over there. And this year they asked us to have a table.
And here you are.
And here we are.
Well, I like the one in the parking lot. I had this idea to do something called Yard Con.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds fun.
They do cons in their yards.
That-
and stuff like
yeah.
that.
So one of my favorite conventions I've ever been to in the past was Anime North, and they actually had on the Friday night, I think it was, they had a yard sale, and it was like all anime things that like people wanted to like kind of like do a yard sale of their own
Totally.
stuff, and it was, you didn't have to be like a vendor or an artist alley person, like it was just a separate thing that you got to
Right.
do, and it was the most fun thing I've ever done at a convention.
And you got rid of stuff and got new stuff.
I got such cool
Right.
things that like you don't see anymore in the stores because it was like from people's personal collections, so you can't, they're older things. It was just so cool.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Sure. Yeah, the one that was in the parking lot had that feel, that swap meet kind of
Yeah.
feel, which I thought was fun. I saw some guy buy an Atari 2600. I'm thinking, it's like, maybe I'll sell mine.
I mean, I have a Steam Deck here.
You see, this is my partner, Catherine, walking by.
Oh.
She's looking the wrong way.
Okay, bye.
There she goes.
It's funny, I have a Steam Deck here, and I've been trying to sell it.
What do you got? Sorry?
I have the new the 512 gigabyte handheld Steam Deck, which apparently just came out, and you can't find it anywhere.
Right.
And I'm here selling it.
Uh-huh.
And most people don't even realize what it is, and it's literally a gaming computer in your hands.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
a portable
old.
PC.
It's literally a PC.
If it doesn't take quarters, I'm
Yeah,
not really
I know.
playing it. I mean,
I'm
that's
just-
really, you know?
It's like, and then I'm so tempted to be like, maybe I should bring my Sega Genesis tomorrow and see if I can sell that. But then I would cry because I still play it.
That's how I feel about my 2600.
Yeah.
I spliced it to a television that was my grandmother's kitchen TV.
Oh.
So this TV is like from 1983 or something.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And I had to, by the way, I went to the Radio Shack, you know, and I
Yes!
bought the
I'm so mad Radio Shack is gone.
pieces of whatever it was and spliced it together. I think there are still a couple, but they're no longer franchised. It's just some dude that owned a Radio Shack. that
He's like,
happened
I don't want to give
I'm
it
not
up.
going out of business.
It's the same way that Toys R Us exists in Canada.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Toys R Us still exists in Canada. It doesn't exist here, but we are getting rumors that they are going to try to come back to the States.
I think the one in Queens might reopen.
It better.
That one was big.
I need that
one was
comeback.
pretty
That's where I
big.
got all my
You're right, though. I
collectibles.
did hear that somebody's
Yeah.
buying. They buy the brand, you know.
Yeah, they buy the brand.
But I want to ask, going back to the Cosmode, to the Cosplay
COSMODA,
Runway.
yeah.
Has there ever been like a cosplay where when you were watching the runway happen, that you were just like, wow, like that one is like my favorite, like, or just blew you
all
away?
the time. It's really true, all the time. And it really, the photos at the end are
Yeah.
even more so, because it is funny how the picture, you know, it's closer up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the background differences and stuff. I mean, really, every show we have multiple people that are really, really special. We did an Asgard
that's
last
cool.
year with just incredible Mark King
Wow.
did this incredible Walt Simonson Thor,
Oh, man.
you know.
That sounds
And just,
amazing.
tremendous, just tremendous. And we were really, really blessed with awesome people doing good stuff. And like I said, for our purposes, we take it all, and it's just so much fun. And I guess, it's funny, I was saying this on the ride up, is to me, it's kind of fun. I had started out in this type of stuff doing, took original art down to Art Basel. So I was working with the Frazetta Estate, and I worked with Neil Adams for many, many years, and a lot of different comic book artists and collectors and things like that. And we brought him down to Art Basel and did shows there for several years.
Wow.
And so anyway, so the crossover was something that I knew was work.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that people were interested, and I, of course, realized, that everybody loves fandom.
Yeah.
That almost without exception, everybody just really loves to come and see this stuff and has an interest in it. So we've been able to, to mix it up in that regard. I'm sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. Is that what was we were talking about? We were talking about any cosplay that made me blow my mind all the time.
I mean,
Photos.
honestly, it blew your mind so that you went off on that amazing
I
tangent.
know, right?
Exactly.
I mean, in all honesty, like, I've been saying for a while now, if any show, video game, movie, if they want their shit to get hyped, leak something to cosplayers.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And as soon as we do it,
All the time.
all the time,
Yeah.
like with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that's coming out.
I want to be Sada.
And I want to be Sprigatito. I want to be the green little cat. Literally the Pokemon Nintendo announced that.
Yeah.
Literally within 12 hours, people had full blown cosplays.
No, and you're so smart, let me just say, because it's happening. That in fact, that is really where a lot of this stuff is going. And it's actually very exciting that there really are cosplayers that have professional careers doing this stuff now. I mean, we were talking to a fellow who does mascots for corporations.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, wow.
he did Chris Paul's shorts, things like this. That there's enormous opportunities. We did a panel out in San Diego.
At San Diego Comic-Con?
Semicon.
Wow.
With a guy named Jordan Bloom, who's executive producer on MODOK with Patton Oswalt, and he's a senior writer and creator and all that type of stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen the show, but it's actually really good.
MODOK?
MODOK, yeah.
I haven't yet, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's all good. But they had a cosplayer that was doing a MODOK and was, part of the mystique, that they retweet. They do. My daughter was out there with me, and David Dismalshin was there promoting his things, and so the wearing of the costumes, and with social media, that it becomes an unreal thing. And obviously there are lots of cosplayers that are getting huge amounts of hits, and that's the currency of advertising at this point.
It's true
that there's metrics on that type of stuff. I don't want to be wrong and quote it, but they're whatever.
No,
you got 100,000 followers, you get to 1 million followers, it's worth $30,000.
No,
or something
it's
like
true.
that.
I mean, I have a decent following on TikTok thanks to my cosplay, and I create my own original characters a lot for cosplay on TikTok, and there's this one character that I have, and I never expected it to go viral, but it did. And it was just a joke between me and my best friend. And it's literally my take on Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Right.
That's all it is.
Nice, sure, well.
But because of that, I'm seeing
flaming hot.
I'm seeing fashion items. I'm seeing people copying the look. I'm like, okay, I'm good with this. Yes, I'm good. Like, Cheetos, reach out to me. What's going on?
It's integrating itself into pop culture. It's integrating itself into fashion trends and things like that. I mean, we were talking about the Met Gala before, that these things have real influence. It's one of the things that's funny, you go to a runway show and you see somebody wearing a sack over their head or some kind of design. You're like, who would wear this? I don't understand. And what people don't always understand is it's not so much that people are going to wear that, so much as it begins to influence a variety of different sensibilities. Easy ones would be color and certain fabrics and this kind of thing. There's more complex analysis, but nevertheless, it isn't about the ridiculous bag over the head. But you are beginning to really see that stuff enter into. I remember when I first saw that Hunger Games.
Yeah,
you knew that it was coming.
I saw a lot of people had started cosplaying their own original characters of knights and princesses and stuff, and now royalty core is very popular, is just as a fashion statement, just wearing those kind of medieval dresses, as on the norm, not in costume.
Pirate core too.
Yeah,
Pirate core, Renaissance fair.
We did, by the way, a whole Black Panther thing. That blew me away. Is that they were royalty. We had a Storm and a T'Challa, and they were in their regal wear. It was not Black Panther. It was really terrific. I love that. And I thought all the costumes from the Black Panther should have been marketed more. I mean, I would have rocked one of those jackets for sure.
I mean, fair.
See, that's why I like. Have you heard of the Her Universe?
Yes, of course. No, they're the premiere. Yeah.
I love that. They take those designs and you'll start seeing it in the Hot Topics. You'll see stuff based off of those designs. Not obviously the actual thing, because you wouldn't, like you were saying, you wouldn't wear those exact things on the daily. But I love that. I wish companies did that more, where they made just casual versions of their characters.
It literally reminds me
in that.
Well,
it would be
I think is a very popular.
Yeah.
There's a term for it, which I'm not going to
Disney
draw.
bounding and stuff.
Yeah,
Disney bounding. You know what it literally reminds me of? It reminds me of that scene in The Devil Wears Prada.
Which one?
Oh, with the color,
blue,
that shade of blue,
where she walked, Anne Hathaway's character walks in, and she said, she laughs because one of the stylists hands up 2 blue belts and goes, "They're so different," and she starts laughing, and then the next thing you know, you have this whole just holy shit moment of how we actually get the trickle down of high couture, where it's that belt was not blue. It was not sharp. What did she say? It was not.
I don't remember.
It was not. It was not navy.
I know the scene. Yeah.
If I remember, she goes, "It's not navy. It's not blue. It's actually cerulean." And then because of that, Oscar de la Renta did an entire line on cerulean gowns and la 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 la. So now you were able to fish that bargain basement sweater out of your Target for $20 because of a cerulean belt picked by the very people in this room.
Right. And by the way, cosplay is beginning to integrate itself into fashion, which is interesting, and costuming as well. And so we're really privileged to be part of that operation.
We're privileged to have you with us here talking about it.
Sweet to tell you. Sweet to say.
No,
It's been awesome.
seriously.
It's kind of fun, right?
Yeah,
No, it is fun.
I love it. I can talk about fashion and cosplay for
Yeah,
hours. Like, I'm
same.
not even kidding.
I love it. That's why I like. Well, I don't enjoy going to KatsuCon for like personal reasons. I love watching the Met Gala that they do have at KatsuCon. It's like an unofficial one, but they'll do like Met Gala inspired versions of characters, and I'm just like, I'll watch it every year, and I'm just like, these are fun.
Or
I
the,
like these.
Or the C2E2 cosplay contest.
Yes, that's a good one too.
That's a good one.
I mean, I watch the World Cosplay Summit every year too.
By the way, the Caribbean Championship is tonight, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Cosplay Championships tonight.
Yeah.
Out of Trinidad. Go Barbados.
Yes.
For Curie Cat to win that one.
Nice. Well, it was a pleasure having you here today.
Oh, yeah.
But we have to wrap it up because we got to keep going and keep this party going at Tropic Con. So drop your socials so everybody can come and annoy you.
Right. I'm at cosplay.runway.com.
There you go.
Well, that's not right. At cosplay.runway and at cosplayrunway.com.
Nice.
Check it out. If you guys are available on September 10th here, and you said it was at the Regent's
Marriott Marquis.
Times
Square.
Times Square. Go to the Cosplay Runway show.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Chocobo and I can't make that one, but we're going to definitely try to make the one in February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
We're-
maybe the one in October if it happens.
Yeah, if you do one in October, we'll be there.
One, that sounds amazing.
Definitely. I think that one will be in Barbados.
Oh, okay, okay. Then never mind that one. In another life.
But either way, we'll definitely see you again at New York City Comic Con.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You'll get to see us in our full cosplay
Get
garb.
my partner Catherine on. She can.
Yeah, we would love
Yeah.
that. And we're definitely going to have you both on at a later date for a full podcast, not at a convention.
Well, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And you guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it. But thank you so much for joining us. And it's your girls coming live from Tropicon. Again, if you're not here, why not? All right? Come on. It's almost time.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The day's almost over. Come on over.
Yeah, and if not, come bother us tomorrow. We'll be here all day again.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Bye.